Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 293 of Be With Me, 7 Minutes of Biblical Wonder. We're in Luke chapter 15. We're looking at the prodigal son and the other prodigal son, the second son, the older son, who never went away, so to speak. And we find out that he is actually further away today than ever before. Yesterday we looked at the DEFCON 4 of woodsmanship, where a person in the woods who knows that he's lost pulls out all the stops and tries to find his way back. And that's really the story of the younger son, who assesses where his feet are, understands that he's lost, and then does everything possible to get back. As opposed to this older son that we're going to focus on today, who has opportunities to realize that he's lost, but he doesn't realize that he's lost. He keeps thinking he knows where he is, and then therefore doesn't use any remedies to get himself back. So we asked the question yesterday is, where am I? So let's look at the story of the second son from Luke 15, verse 25. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. So he doesn't go into the house. Strike one. And he said to him, your brother has come, your father has killed the fattened calf, the singular, the one fatted calf. He doesn't like that. Because he has received him back safe and sound. And then verse 28, here it is, or the start of it. But he was, this is now strike two. But he was angry. That's strike two. Strike three, he refuses to go in. He's already done that with strike one. And then his father came out and entreated him. But he answered his father, look, this is a bad answer. These many years I have served you. I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, not my brother, he refers to him as your son, but when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him. And he said to him, this is the father speaking now, son, two precious things, he says. You are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive, and he was lost and is found. So we start the story with two lost brothers, one who realizes he's lost, and then the second one here who is lost and doubles down on being lost but doesn't realize it. So the younger son, the so-called bad son, gets it right by saying, I'm lost. And this son is kind of saying, nope, I'm fine. I have a right to be angry. I'm accusing the father of a couple bad things. So let's talk about the father. I didn't notice before that the father with the son that's the true prodigal son sees him when he's a long way off and runs to him. Remember that? That was a couple episodes ago. And in this part of the story, this non-repentant son, the older son here, his father comes out. Same deal. The father goes out to both sons. And what it says is he entreated him. So that's a passionate word about being called to your side and pleading, appealing, urging, maybe even exhortation, where the father is telling him, hey, you're on the square of lostness. You look down with your feet, you're lost right now. You don't really realize it. And it's time to realize it. So he invites him to do the right thing in verse 28. And unfortunately, in verse 29, he says, look, I've served years. I've never disobeyed. He has this bad view of God. You don't allow me to celebrate with my friends. And then verse 30, so you talk about estrangement from family. So now we find that this older son is more estranged from his family than the younger son who came back. First of all, he says, this son of yours. So he says, this brother is dead to me. I don't even have a brother. So he estranges himself from his own family and doesn't understand the joy of this situation. So the whole chapter 15 of Luke, a repeated theme is the joy of a repentant sinner, the joy of a repentant sinner. And of course, this guy is a bad example of that. And then I loved what the father says at the end. He did understand these two truths. Son, you are always with me. That's what this podcast is about, ladies and gentlemen, is being with the Lord and enjoying it and reveling in it and seeking it out and running on these little rabbit trails of spiritual delight that we go on, eating these spiritual snacks and saying, man, that was tasty. And then the second thing is all that is mine is yours. So there's a stuff and there's a relationship side of what he says. And then the final thing he says is, it's fitting to celebrate. So we should be celebrating if you get this right, that your brother was dead and now is alive, he was lost, and then he was found. So he's entreated by the Lord, he's called over, he's pleaded, he's sort of reassociated with these lost signs, and he asks this second son to look down at your feet. And he's telling him, you're lost right now and you don't even realize it. So he's failing in the primary question, which is, where am I? So I think that the teaching point for us is know where we are. That was kind of yesterday's thing. Assess where you are. Identify the square that you're on. But then here is embrace the moment. He was entreated is the word. He was called over. He was appealed to. So may I and may we be sensitive for that moment when we are entreated by the Father to straighten up and fly right, or identify where you are, or stop saying what we're doing, or we have to listen to the Lord when he entreats us. So if he tells us we're lost, let's listen. It's great to be with you, my brothers and sisters. I'm so proud of you for walking this walk with me and being sensitive in the sense that maybe this is your entreating. Thanks for listening.